The Outdoor Show. It's the program that puts you into the peaceful and beautiful home of Mother Nature. It moves you back to that calm fishing pond up north, one step away from Lake Michigan, or into your hunting blind on a brisk fall morning. The Outdoor Show. It's a peaceful program. This is not your mother's outdoor show. This is the WHTC Outdoor Show, hosted by a guy who literally has hunting in his name. Tom Meddendorp is Dutch for Village in the Maiden, or King's Hunting Ground. Your co-host, sometimes, is Tim Becker of Powderhorn Guns and Archery. It's time for what really happens when the guys go up north on that hunting trip. It's time for the WHTC Outdoor Show, presented by My Firearms ETS. That's MI Firearms ETS on 1450 WHTC, Holland's news leader.
Good morning. Welcome to the Outdoor Show. I'm Tom Meddendorp, and of course, my sometimes co-host is still just sometimes.
That's pretty much.
But I'm here with Jim Brandt from West Michigan Walleye Club, and we're going to talk a little bit about walleye fishing and hopefully some crappie fishing today.
All kinds of fishing.
All kinds of fishing. And I had to start out with, the last couple of weeks, I've been making sure everybody understands we do have the confirmed case of CWD in wild deer in Michigan, and the response plan has been put in place to eradicate CWD with additional permits being issued in 3 counties that are touched by a 10-mile radius around where the deer was found. This is a good response versus the response in 2008 to ban baiting in all of the state when we found a captive deer with CWD. You remember that, Jim?
Yep, I remember that.
And I remember a lot of people got very upset.
Yep.
And we don't want to have people getting upset like in Wisconsin. They've got a lot of hunter DNR conflict over trying to eradicate the CWD, but I don't know how well that'll work. We just want to make sure that we can eradicate it and not have it spread throughout our herd and make for less and less opportunities to hunt. We don't want that to happen.
Yeah, because if you wipe out deer, there won't be nothing to do.
Because we do a lot of deer hunting in Michigan.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that hunt.
But another bad news issue, we have found, I can't remember the letters, but it's an avian bird flu. It's a bird flu in geese, which we do a lot of waterfowl hunting.
Yep, they found 3 of them this week they had it?
Yep, let me see here. I got some stuff pulled up on the computer. Let's see. Boy, that must have been at the beginning of it. They found three goslings that were collected last week in Sterling Heights and delivered to the DNR's Wildlife Disease Laboratory for necropsy. Necropsy?
However you want to say it.
That's a word I haven't seen before. Anyway, they did initial tests, and the tests were positive, and the samples were forwarded to the U.S. Department of Agriculture's National Veterinary Services Lab in Ames, Iowa, to get that final confirmation. It's a subtype, it's highly pathogenic avian influenza. HPAI, that's what the letters were. It's a subtype H5N2. I don't know that we really need to know that. We just need to know that there's an avian influenza going on.
Yeah, just like I always say, speak in English. Just call us the bird flu or something.
We got a bird flu. Anyway, these I got a quote here. This confirmed positive finding of highly pathogenic avian influenza prompts several steps that are informed by Michigan's surveillance and response plan for HPAI in free-ranging wildlife. This is Keith Cray, the DNR director, that said this, and he said, the DNR and MDARD are working with other experts and taking advantage of every available resource to ensure a swift, appropriate response that limits the spread of HPAI. And it's kind of disconcerting because we have several of our surrounding states, along with Ontario, have found this HPAI.
Well, is that the same one that's in the chickens and turkeys down in Indiana?
It could be.
All I heard was they called it bird flu, and they were watching all these chickens and turkeys and down in Indiana, and they thought, let's hope it don't get into Michigan. And I heard about the geese, and they says, well, it came to Michigan, but now is it the same strain or not? I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good question, because they say it's that sub H5N2, that substrain of it. But ducks and geese are considered carriers, and however, geese generally do not pass it on. So if the geese don't pass it on,
well, that's not so bad then.
Well, do they pass it on to them to geese, but not pass it on to other birds? That would be my question based on the news stuff that I pulled up. But it's kind of, it makes you a little bit concerned if you got CWD in the deer, you got the HPAI in the geese. That's our waterfowling. That's our deer hunting. That's a lot of stuff.
Yep.
We're going to have to all just start fishing.
There we go.
But don't throw those fish on the bank, because you might get a visit.
Right.
You might get a visit from a black bear.
Yeah,
Since we've had black bear being found in several different areas. We had black bear all the way to the south. Where was the last sighting?
Where was that?
It was south of us yet.
Oh yeah, it was down there. Man, was it like around South Haven area?
It might have been. I can't remember where it was.
The last one that I heard about was like near Saugatuck. But
near Saugatuck?
Yeah, but that was.
Oh, I didn't remember hearing that.
That was like
one.
a week ago or so.
Huh. Well, here's something for you. One got hit in Cadillac.
Yeah.
In Cadillac, and
the one with the cubs.
I don't know if it had the cubs. I just know it got hit in Cadillac, struck and killed by a vehicle. South of White Cloud.
I thought it was Nuevo, yeah.
South of White Cloud. Okay, that makes more sense to me. That it just said near Cadillac. Well, near Cadillac, south of White Cloud. That's quite a distance, don't you think?
That's a long ways. You're in Nuevo County in South White Cloud.
That's a pretty big difference right there. But anyway, you might get visited by a black bear, which I think the black bears, being around, I think it's kind of cool, but it could get a little hairy-carry out there in the woods if you happen to cross mama and some cubs.
Mama and cubs, yes. Otherwise, they're scared of you, pretty much.
They're gonna take off. Very rare that you'd even see them out in the woods if you're walking in the woods.
Right.
Because they're pretty good at staying hidden from us.
Oh yeah.
So with all these things going on, and the bears and the flu and all that stuff, we still have a really cool thing happening this weekend.
We do what? That's raining?
No, you don't need a fishing license this weekend.
Yeah, that is this weekend.
It's free fishing weekend this weekend.
13th, 14th, right?
13th and 14th. Today and tomorrow.
So anybody that wants to go fishing, get out there now. You don't have to buy a license.
You don't have to buy. Got to have a pole.
And that's in any body of water in Michigan, right?
Yes, every body of water.
Everything within Michigan's borders, you can go fishing. That includes Lake Michigan out to our border, right?
Yes.
Our line.
Yep.
And you don't need to have a fishing license, but you do have to follow the fishing rules.
Yes.
You can't take over your limit because you don't have a license.
Right.
So
you might get a ticket then.
Might get a ticket, that is true. But it's every year we do a June weekend and a February weekend, right?
Yeah, I think there's one in the winter. That's usually when they have that dam to dam tournament. Is that the same time?
I don't know if
that's in February.
Is that in February?
Yeah.
That's up there by
Hardy and Croton.
And you go in between the two dams
anywhere
ice fishing in February. And that's a tournament. But I think it's second weekend of June, second weekend of February.
Okay.
That you can do that. But I can't guarantee that it's the second weekend of February. Don't register that and stay with it until February. Better make sure when that time comes. And of course we'll announce it, but the free fishing weekend allows you to fish all this weekend, starting today, going through tomorrow. And you don't need a license, but you have to follow the rules. If you don't know the rules, you can stop by a licensed dealer and pick up the book.
Most of your bait shops have the book.
Yeah,
so.
And if something's a little confusing, the guys at the bait shops can typically guide you the right direction on the rules.
Right.
Because the books aren't always the easiest to follow.
No, they're not.
Especially if you're a river fisherman.
Well, yeah, because or even certain species of fish.
Yep.
Like this lake, you can keep so many, and this other lake, you can't keep any.
Right, right.
It goes on and on.
That's true. It gets a little bit confusing, but hey, not too confusing. Otherwise, I wouldn't fish at all if it was too confusing.
Right.
And if I can understand it.
You can understand it, but the only time you can't catch fish.
Hey, stop it. That just means I don't have to worry about getting in trouble. I like my river fishing, and I don't always get a chance to get out there and do my river fishing.
With your trout?
Yeah.
Fly fishing?
No, we use regular rod and reel.
Yep.
But we use Blue Fox number 2s.
Nice.
Different colors. We'll use the gold ones, or we'll use a black one or a white one. Or you could do the multicolors, but I haven't had a lot of luck with the multicolors. Just the regular original Blue Fox number 2 in that brass color.
Yep, brass color.
It works really great. It works wonders.
Now, does it have any bucktail on it or anything?
Some of my other multicolored ones, but not the brass colored ones that I use. And it's my buddy that
blades are all brass color too?
Yes. Yep.
Or they got colors on them?
Well, there's all different ones that you can get,
right.
But it's the number 2 size for the rivers that we use, because it's got the right weight to be down far enough where we want it to be. And my buddy takes me along and
what's your favorite rivers?
Shows me how to do that. I would have to say I had the most fun on the Pine River.
Oh yeah, that's a nice river.
Yeah. We do a lot of smaller ones, and there's one river I can't mention because it's his secret river. Yeah. He puts the blindfold on, drives me there, and everything else.
The Pine River though is a nice river. I've canoed down there many times.
Oh yeah, Pine River's excellent river to go on.
Yep.
I thoroughly enjoy going on the Pine River, going into the smaller areas of the Pine, further upriver.
Do you look for the gravel when you're fishing, or do you just cast towards the trees that are falling in? And
we look for the fallen trees.
Yep.
And then position yourself so that you can get in along the tree and follow, run along with the current next to the trees.
Nice.
And that usually will draw them out.
Trigger them. Yep.
Yeah, and they'll grab hold of them. And I have a lot of fun with it because I like being in the woods.
Yep.
I like going along the rivers. I like, walking. We do this right from the bank. You don't even have to.
So you're not even in a kayak or a canoe or anything?
Sometimes we'll get in with boots on and stuff, but typically we just walk along the banks.
Nice.
And so it makes it really simple.
Makes it easy.
You throw your box with your lures in. You throw your pole in. Make sure you take your knife so you can skin them out. And then we head up, and we can just walk right along the river and pick different spots. So you get some good time going down the river and seeing things in the woods and so on. I find a lot of grouse locations.
Oh, yeah.
When I go along there. Anyway, we'll talk more about that in just a minute. The Outdoor Show is brought to you by Westenbrook Mower, where they service what they sell. All units are ready to use when they leave the store, and Westenbrook submits your warranty information so you don't have to. Stop into the Holland or the Genesis store. Check them out on your computer at westenbrookmower.com or call them at 616-396-5733. Lines are open. Give us a call, 395-1450. We'll be back here shortly on the Outdoor Show. Welcome back to the Outdoor Show, brought to you by Michigan Firearms, your personal protection and concealed carry specialist. We're back, ready to talk with you. Give us a call, 395-1450. I'm here with Jim Brandt this morning. Jim Brandt, former president of the West Michigan Walleye Club.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we're talking about all kinds of fishing. Of course, we started out with some things that are going on in the natural world that are kind of disappointing. Could be.
Yeah.
Some things are exciting, like
Some
the
are
bear.
exciting.
The bear moving around, and the free fishing weekend.
Free fishing. There you go. Everybody better get out there today and tomorrow.
Grab those poles, grab those worms, and let's go.
Yep. Anywhere. Go anywhere.
Speaking of worms, we talked a little. Worms were included in the whole talk last week, but we had a lot of good talk with Kristen Hintz from Ottawa County Parks Department about that whole transfer and movement of wildlife, taking fish from one body of water to another body of water, taking your worms that you get from one place and then putting them in another place. Didn't even realize worms actually spread things between them as well.
Everything does. So does your, you buy minnows.
Yeah, we talked about the minnows.
You got to watch your minnows.
And it just, you don't think about it until somebody says something about it.
You got to watch here's something that nobody watches hardly is when you pull your boat out of the water.
Yeah.
You got weeds hanging on it, on the boat trailer.
Yep.
You're dragging that stuff all over too.
Got them silly mussels on there, and then you got to
Zebra mussels.
put them in another place. And
I remember I did 2 tournaments out of state. And I remember the time when I went to Kansas in 2003 that we had to get our boats. We drove all the way to Kansas. We had to get our boats inspected.
Really?
And they went through them with a fine-tooth comb. They use flashlights in your bilge hole that comes outside of your boat. They use long Q-tips to go up in there.
Really?
And they're looking. And then you had to, before we went out there, we had to bleach our live wells and our villages.
Wow.
Oh yeah, they
don't want that.
They don't want nothing there.
They don't want they don't want that Michigander stuff coming to Kansas.
And if you don't pass, they didn't put a sticker on your boat, so then you couldn't fish at all.
Wow. So what would you do to pass? Would you have to go through the process and go get inspected again?
Yeah. When I before we went out there, I took my boat, started working on it for a week, cleaned it all out, put bleach in everything, the whole village, and pump it through, and
wow.
Make sure it's clean. Wash it.
Well, and that's the thing. That's how these things spread. I mean, that's how we got all the different invasive species in Lake Michigan and stuff. But
it's not all. Boats do a lot, but waterfowl does a lot too. Zebra mussels can get stuck
on the feet of the waterfowl,
feet or their wings, and they fly and drop some out of the water.
Isn't that how fish eggs get transferred from one place to another, so that you build a new pond? There's no fish living in it,
and all of a sudden, boom, you got fish.
Yeah, all of a sudden they're there. Comes on the feet of the ducks, right?
Yep.
And anyhow, river fishing. We were talking a little bit about river fishing.
Yeah, you do a lot of trout fishing.
I'd like to. Again, I'm not really great at it. I lose a lot of lures.
That happens. I mean, you got to expect that when you're fishing a river by trees and stuff.
Yeah.
You might as well plan on you're going to be tying because you're going to break off.
Yeah, you're going to be tying new ones on, and you're going to be breaking them off.
Same with what we did crappie fishing a week ago.
Oh, did you?
You just got to go in there. I mean, you're fishing brush. I mean,
because you said you went along wherever there was trees in the water, right?
Yep. You find those trees, even trees that are in 30 foot of water we find, and you might as well expect you're going to lose stuff because...
Okay, so on your fish finder,
yes,
you were picking up where there was trees laying down in 30 feet deep.
That, and plus there's some trees that are sticking out of the water in 30 foot of water.
Oh, that had been flooded over and they're just still standing
branches there? Yep.
Okay. And then you'll fish around those, and then you get hooked and snagged on.
Yeah, you hook the branches, and that's going to happen. You might as well plan on losing jigs and whatever else you got.
This is true. I probably do a lot. I should get stock.
So I think we started with a pack of hooks, and I think I had one hook left when I was done.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in 2 days.
Well, we talked about it's free fishing weekend, and you mentioned some local places that are pretty fun to fish that are really good producers.
Yes.
Like
Grand River right now, last week and a half, they've been doing fairly well on walleyes in Grand River.
On walleye on Grand River?
Yep.
Where would they go to find the walleye on Grand River? It's not like you walk up to the bank and...
This time of year, mainly you're going to be from like Indian Channel down towards Lake Michigan.
Indian Channel down to Lake Michigan.
Yeah, that Indian Channel is close to, what's the street? 144th. There's a launch right close to it right there.
I'm trying to picture it, but I don't always get those pictures.
Off Lake Michigan Drive, if you take 144th, that dead ends right into a launch on the river.
Okay.
And it's close. That's close. That launch is real close to Indian Channel. Indian Channel's just down a little bit and across.
Gotcha.
So, but then there's they've been doing fairly decent over down there for walleyes.
But now you're going to need a boat to do that fishing.
Yes, yeah, you're not going to stand on shore. But if you want to, if you're just going out for fun, there's a lot of these local parks.
Yep.
Like there's one not far from my house. They have a huge boardwalk that goes way out into the water.
Oh, really? Kind of like the
And-
ones they built on Mac?
Yeah, just like that,
Okay.
and then you can fish off those boardwalks, and catch bluegills, bass. Like this place where this boardwalk and this park is, it's in a huge pond.
Okay.
But then if you go down from that park, then you got the Grand River, and they got a big platform there that you can stand on and fish out there too. That's in Jenison. That's off Fillmore.
Jenison off Fillmore.
Yeah, I think. What's the name of the street that's off Fillmore there?
You know the name of the park?
Ottawa County.
That's one of the Ottawa County parks?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So you could find it. It's off of Fillmore in Jenison.
Yep.
And so that park has those fishing wharfs or whatever built into it where people can just get out there and go fish and have a little bit of fun.
Right. If you don't have a boat and you want to get out, I mean, you can stand on the bank on anywhere.
Yep.
Or just like gravel pits.
Like,
They always got a lot of fish. You can stand on the banks there and gravel pits.
The banks there, Bass River.
Yep. There, and there's a lot of pits in Jenison too.
Okay.
There's gravel pits all over, really.
Get into those pits, and then you can just stay on the bank and do a little bit of fishing and enjoy some time without having to have a license.
Right.
More fishing in just a moment. Farmers Co-op Elevator in Hudsonville is your food plot headquarters with over 40 different seed varieties to choose from, providing in-house soil testing as well as fertilizers, lime, and equipment to plant, maintain, and get the maximum performance out of your food plot. Visit the Farmers Co-op at 3302 Prospect Street in Hudsonville. For a complete list of products and services, check them out online at fcelevator.com. Lines are open. Give us a call, 395-1450. We'll be back here shortly on The Outdoor Show. Welcome back to the Outdoor Show, brought to you by Powderhorn Guns and Archery for all your arrow knocking, gun cocking, fish hooking, flag waving, stand up and sing God Bless America hunting and fishing needs. Lines are open. Give us a call, 395-1450. We're back, ready to answer your questions right here on the Outdoor Show. Kind of like doing that one, that one.
I know that's your favorite commercial, isn't it?
I like doing that.
Yeah, people can't see you, but I watch you doing it. You just enjoy it so much.
I get excited.
His whole face lights up.
I know it does.
4th of July.
He's like, oh, wow. He's like a little kid in a candy store. Like, holy cow.
Powderhorn Guns and Archery. It kind of makes you want to.
And what makes
it's
it
like-
better if Tim ever was here to hear it,
because then he does his little whistle thing because he's so
Yeah.
excited about
Yeah.
it. No, you should have that. That should be like the alarm, because that would make you want to just jump up, run on down to Biggby Coffee, get your Biggby Coffee in the morning. Make sure you got your pole with you. Walk out to the wharfs out here on Lake Mac and just fish for the morning.
There you go.
Be excited because we're fulfilling those arrow knocking, gun cocking, fish hooking,
Yep.
and flag waving, stand up and sing God Bless America hunting and fishing needs,
Right.
right?
Yep.
But don't forget to pick up your Biggby.
Yeah, don't forget your Biggby.
And when you're there, just try it. It's an Uncle Tom's favorite. Just ask him for Uncle Tom's favorite. Comes in a
Uncle
large.
Tom's favorite.
Comes in a large. You got to get a large. It's Uncle Tom's favorite.
People want to know what Uncle Tom's favorite is. Just black coffee. That's all it is.
The things he says. The things he says.
It just sounds good when you say Uncle Tom's favorite.
I'll give you a secret. There's something else in it.
Yeah, a little bit of sugar, probably.
I was just going to say a lot of sugar.
But they've got 2 locations. You can pick it up at Waverly and
Actually, they got a lot of locations. If
Business 196 or Chicago Drive.
they have lots of locations.
No, but we're talking about the Holland.
Oh, the Holland
The
people.
Holland
Well,
Biggby.
see, I don't live in Holland. I live in Hudsonville.
Yeah, but there's going to be one closer to you soon. I'm
There
thinking.
is one right by me almost.
But we're talking the Holland ones, the ones
Yes.
that Mark has.
Yeah.
And got the one on Waverly and Chicago Drive,
Yep.
and then there's one over on Douglas, across from where the DNW sits.
Yeah.
Right across the parking
yeah,
lot from
yep.
Tim's place,
Yep.
and he didn't even notice it. I had to tell him, look, there's one right there.
Because he just pulls in that parking lot and he's blind and then he just goes into his office and sits there.
But he's actually there.
No, not usually. Usually he's gone. You see that other guy's running it for him.
Al's always there.
Yep.
Al's always there. But we never know about Tim.
Nope.
Goes to Canada, comes back home, and then goes back to Canada.
I thought maybe today he'd be chartering on Mac for sheephead because I heard they're biting pretty good right now.
Well, I think he's got his captain's license.
Yeah, I know. He told me that last time.
Yeah,
It was, 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago?
Yeah, when we tried to do the recording.
Because I heard they're biting pretty good out there now.
So sheephead, can you get the sheephead from those?
Yes,
those
you
board
can.
dogs?
Yes, you can.
Those are fun to fight.
They fight.
They fight good. They don't jump up like bass, though, do they?
No, they want to stay down, but they give you a fight.
They just pull it right down to the bottom.
Yep.
Is it like getting?
They kind of fight. You know how a bluegill fights. Mm-hmm. Okay, think of a bluegill but bigger.
A lot bigger.
Yeah.
I've seen them things.
And I know, but I'm just saying that's kind of how they fight, like a bluegill.
Okay.
They kind of go sideways like that and just pull like.
Does it?
And with a bigger fish, like if you catch a bluegill on a big bluegill on an ultralight, yeah, it's a decent fight. Okay,
Right.
Now you take a sheephead, which is how much bigger, and then they fight the same. That's a big fight.
That's a real big fight because they're a pretty big fish.
Yeah.
They're pretty big fish, but I'm just kind of thinking I've never caught a sheep's head. I've never tried for them or even,
We used to do that. We used to go out there with kids, just start trolling around with crankbaits out in our boats
and get the sheep's head.
Oh yeah,
Huh.
they'll pull planer boards down like a bobber.
Do they? Imagine.
They do.
Do they fight a lot like bowfin or a lot of people call them dogfish? Do they fight a lot like that?
No, not necessarily. I mean, I know dogfish fight pretty good too, but
They're a pretty tough fight.
yes, but they fight. I'll tell you what, sheephead aren't. Your pole, it's just like you're fighting a salmon almost, especially if you're trolling.
Really?
Oh yeah, your pole just you use trolling rods. Your pole just doubled over,
Well, that sounds like a lot of fun.
and you just start doing the old, pull back, reel down, pull back, reel down.
Just so you can get them
Get 'em-
closer and closer.
Yeah.
That seems like a lot of fun to me, but I've never done it. Never went out there to get a hold of them.
I know they're biting. Last I heard, they're biting pretty good out there.
But they're on Lake Mac and
Yep.
they're biting pretty good right now. What other things could we got? We talked about the park up by you off of Fillmore in Jenison.
Oh yeah,
People could go there.
That's not only park. There's parks all over. Just go on Ottawa County, and or Allegan, wherever you live, close by.
Mm-hmm.
Look up parks, and there's parks everywhere with little ponds or next to a river or next to a lake with boardwalks on them. And
Now, can we get some walleye from those docks possibly? Or are they more of
the
a,
river ones? Maybe.
Maybe. So you find those docks along the rivers,
Yep.
and then we might be able to pick up some walleye.
Maybe.
What kind of specific things might we have to do that? Because we can all go get the worms and do the.
If I was gonna stand along the bank and fish for walleyes, I would have 2 poles.
2 poles.
One I would throw out there with a crawler,
Okay.
the whole crawler,
Then
Like
would
a-
you
with a-
just
like a
hook it by
number-
the nose?
with a number 2 hook.
Number 2 hook and feed the when you
I would
hook the
put
crawler.
I'd
feed
put the
hook
worm
down
on,
through there?
feed it on, but don't bunch it up on the curve. Just feed it on.
Okay, so it's
The
just
hook
kind
would come out. It's use an Aberdeen hook. It'd come out by the collar,
okay.
and then just with a weight. I don't know. It depends on the current of the river, but just throw it out as far as you can. Let it sit.
Let it sit there. How far should
Yep.
you put? Like if you put a split shot on there, how far away from the hook?
Oh, I go doesn't matter, 8 inches.
Oh, only about 8 inches.
Yeah, river don't matter too much.
And then because we're not sitting on the bottom with that split shot.
Well, if you are, I just throw it out and let it sit. I don't let it drift down.
Okay.
Because if it drifts down, it's going to come right next to the bank, and then you're
Right. So you kind of want that split shot or that weight to get out there and stay on the bottom, and then have the worm will on the extended part of the line past that will kind of float up a little ways.
Yep.
And that'll be close to the bottom, and then they'll come along.
Just kind of like you're sucker fishing in the summer or in the spring.
We usually do that with spears.
Well, there's a lot of people that sucker fish along the banks too.
Yeah, I see them right over here by Pawpaw.
Yep.
They do a lot of sucker fishing, don't they? And 104th and Adams.
Yep.
A lot of fishing goes on there before the sucker run, when everybody hits to the streams
Right.
spearing.
But that's what I, with one pole I'd do that, and then the other pole I would just have some crankbaits and start fan casting along the bank, and then watch your pole. Put it in like the one that you got the worm on. Just watch your rod. See you getting a bite, then you get ready to set the hook.
Okay, so you flip the one out there and let it set.
Yep.
And then the other one, put some crankbaits or something on it and just cast and troll and reel it in.
Different. Yep.
And we're allowed,
that's what I would do if I'm staying on the bank in a river.
Yeah, we're actually allowed 3 poles per person, right?
Yeah, if you want, you can run another pole with a crawler too,
But just so people know, you're not in trouble.
Right, you can run 3 poles in Michigan for every kind of fish.
So if you got 2 poles, it's okay.
Yep.
To have the 2 poles. But so we can fish for walleye like that, the crappie and bluegill and so on. Would you do it the same type of way, or would you use like a bobber and a worm?
For crappies, I wouldn't use a worm. I'd use minnows.
Use minnows for the crappie? And
with a bobber, you could use a slip bobber. We did that up on Hardy. We used slip bobbers with minnows. We used little baby jigs. I'm talking baby ones, like
really lightweight jig.
1/32 ounce.
Okay. 30 seconds of an ounce.
Yeah.
Wow.
They're light.
That's a little baby jig.
Yep.
Can you even tell there's a jig head on the hook?
Barely. What we do is we cast them out towards the tree, and then when it hits the water, you just kind of let it pendulum down.
Okay.
Usually it gets down so far, and wham, then you get them.
As it's floating
sinking down.
It's sinking down in there, and then all of a sudden they'll hit it.
Yep. We weren't using anything heavier than a 1/8 ounce jig.
Okay.
So I was using the 30 seconds. My buddy's using 8.
Okay. And if we do that off from those docks, we can do the same kind of thing.
Yes, if there's crappies around there, it all depends.
Right. Yeah, we could go out there and throw all this stuff out there in vain.
And not catching it.
But we still have a good time fishing.
Right.
And we don't have to have a license.
That's why when you go out there, bring a cooler with you and some beverages.
There you go. And take the kids along and have them.
The kids can play on the beach, because some of these parks have little beaches.
Yep.
By their lakes.
And then they can go play.
Kids can play by the beach or the swing
fish.
set, or they can fish. But a lot of these parks have swing sets too.
Yep.
They can play while you're out there fishing.
This is true. If they get bored, there's something for them to do. Because I know
kids get bored, because I've had I got 3 kids, and when they were little, you take them fishing, and you hopefully you got stuff for them to do other than fish, because once they're
it's like putting them in the deer blind.
Yeah, I know.
Better have something for them to do.
Yep.
That was me when I was a kid. I would bring a book and sit in a camper chair while my dad waded into the water and fished. There was no interest in me. Although I did catch my first steelhead when I was, I think, 14.
Nice.
So
Really?
Nice.
Yeah.
And that didn't
must
hook
have fished.
That didn't hook you
somewhat.
then? Now you fish all the time?
Not so much.
Well, that's kind of a bugger. A lot of times when you first get your first fish, you kind of want to keep on fishing, right?
Oh yeah. Some people do.
Some people don't.
No.
Caitlin didn't.
No. But no, there's some people that enjoy it, and there's some people like that they can take it or leave it,
Right.
That was more like me. I could take it or leave it. It was, I mean, it was fun to spend time with my dad and, hang out and talk about father-daughter stuff, I guess. But, I mean, I'd much rather look at the fish than actually catch it. I like looking at fish. Does that make sense?
Like in an aquarium, or see them after they've been caught?
Yeah, see them after they were caught.
Yeah. I think, my nieces, they were always excited about seeing them, but they never were excited going out to fish with me.
Maybe it's a girl thing.
My daughter goes fishing with me, and she loves catching them.
This was, probably, I don't know how many years ago, but we caught some fish, and we're cleaning them, we're camping, and my daughter, she always was fascinated with sushi, and I ain't kidding you. She grabbed some of that fish. We were flaying them out and ate it. I go, really?
Did she like it?
I go, yeah, okay.
Hey, they say sushi's good. I don't know.
I don't know either. I like mine cooked.
Yeah, I'm not much. I mean, I like things cooked, rare, medium rare. But still, I don't know. Well, so you can get out this weekend with that free fishing, the free fishing weekend. You don't need a license. You can go to some of the different docks. There's lots of different places to go. Try a couple things that Jim's been explaining to us. Or if you got a boat, you can get out there in a boat. And if your boat isn't working, you need to go see Advantage Marine in Zeeland with competitive prices and personalized service to meet all your needs.
Yeah, my boat's there now.
Is it?
Yep.
Repair, storage, winterizing, parts, and more. Jim's boat's there. If Jim trusts him, you should too. Call Advantage Marine in Zeeland at 616-748-9235 or stop in and see Dave at 8755 Riley Street in Zeeland. That's at the corner of 88th and Riley on the northeast side of Zeeland. Lines are open. Give us a call, 395-1450. We'll be back here shortly on The Outdoor Show. Welcome back to The Outdoor Show, brought to you by MI Firearms ETS, educating people in the safe and responsible use of firearms since 2001. My Firearms ETS offers education, training, and supply, the best you can find anywhere. Classes are offered regularly. Class sizes are limited. Register early to reserve your spot, 616-218-7328, or find us on your computer at mifirearmsets.com. We're back, ready to talk with you. Give us a call, 395-1450. I'm here with Jim Brandt from West Michigan Walleye Club.
Yay.
And we're talking about fishing, all kinds of fishing. If you missed the beginning of the show, you're going to want to go back and listen. We got a couple of different...
Yeah, we talked about trout streams.
Yeah.
Then we talked about free fishing weekend.
Yeah, and you can catch it at WHTC.com.
Yep.
Under
podcast.
Media, podcast, scroll it down till you find The Outdoor Show, and Caitlin will have it there at 8:01 a.m. That
would be impressive.
She's good. She's really good. She's fast.
We're challenging her. Now it'll be there a little bit later this morning.
Probably by 8:30 at the latest.
Well, there you go. By 8:30, you'll be able to pick up off from the website what we talked about earlier. But getting people out here, Jim, to fish. We talked about having the kids out and taking the kids out.
Yes. Kids is fun.
Yeah, if you take the kids out fishing, I usually figure when I take little kids, when my kids were little, right, when I took other folks' kids along, don't bother with your own pole.
No, because you're going to be busy baiting or taking fish off, mm-hmm, or undoing knots, yep, or retying, or you don't have time to fish yourself usually.
Take your pole along. That's your backup.
Unless you're going to find one that gets troll, tangled. If you troll, like for salmon on Lake Michigan, but that's
a whole different ballgame.
That's a whole different ballgame. But if you're going pan fishing,
and don't take too many kids.
No.
Then it just becomes a hook and eye fest.
See, our club, it comes in August. First Saturday of August, we have a youth fishing tournament. It's for kids.
Where do you do that one again?
This last 2 years, this year too, it's going to be up at Hardy Dam. And you know how kids are, no attention span. So we don't have a long tournament. It's from 8 in the morning till noon. And then we got hot dogs and pop.
It's August 1 this year. Is the first Saturday.
And then that's probably when it is. I haven't looked on the... You got the website up?
I don't, but I can pull that up. But where do you do that?
That's going to be at K&K launch. But here's the thing. You have to be... Somebody in the boat has to be a member of the West Michigan Walleye Club.
Okay.
And then you take any kid you want. Like, my kids are all older. I take... I didn't go last year because I was out of town.
Okay.
But this year, I'm taking my boss and his 2 sons. They're not that old. One's probably 5, the other one's 8.
Okay.
I took them 2 years ago. And then I take my oldest boy goes with me because he's on the board. My oldest son is on the West Michigan Walleye Club board. And he comes along and helps. So we got 2 of us in the boat that knows what they're doing.
In order to work with the kids and have things go okay.
And I do lots of different things. I ask the kids what would they like to do. But like I did with my own kids in the past when we did these youth tournaments, is I tell them, okay, we got 4-hour tournament.
Okay.
1 hour, we're going to bass fish. 1 hour, we're going to pan fish.
Mm-hmm.
1 hour we're going to troll, and then the other hour is whatever. And they were good. So then you're doing something different. You're not just doing the same thing for the whole 4 hours. You're
changing up on them.
Changing up.
It's not like you set up the poles for trolling and
then you troll for 4
time.
hours. No, that gets boring. The kids really get bored then.
Yep.
You know. And they were fine with that. They said, yeah, let's do that. Or else I'd ask them, what do you want to fish for when we first get started? Well, let's fish for bass. Okay, we'll fish for bass. You know.
I remember my dad and my grandpa making me do those youth fishing tournaments when I was a kid, 9, 10 years old. Mm-hmm. And it was a very miserable time for me.
Really?
Yeah.
They wouldn't let her take her book along.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they would sit me in a camper chair at the bank with a little bobber and, a little night crawler on the hook, and that's all I got to do.
Well, that's not any fun.
Exactly. So no wonder, I've had bad experiences with it, but something like that, I feel like with kids' short attention spans, that would be good.
Right. And then like this, like up at Hardy there, some guys bring up, if they have pontoon boats, they bring pontoon boats. So the kids get bored, a pontoon boat's huge.
There's all kinds of room to move.
Yeah, they got, some guys bring little matchboxes, and the kids are playing with matchboxes.
Oh, the Matchbox cars?
Yeah, little toys or whatever.
Off the cliff. Oh, in the water.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't seem to get the website to pull up on here. I'm on the
WestMichiganWalleyeclub.org.
Yeah, I just can't seem to get it to come up. I don't know if Caitlin can get it to come up real quick and get us that tournament date. WestMichiganWalleyeclub.org for those of you looking for it. The first Saturday is August 1, so I'm assuming that.
I'm guessing it is.
We're going to
get that. And prizes. We have every kid. I'll tell you what, every kid the last 2 years, I didn't go last year, but I went the year before. Every kid leaves with a brand new fishing pole.
Really?
And a nice one, too.
That's kind of cool.
And we have trophies for the categories of fish. Kids all get medals. It's just a fun time.
Well, guess what popped up after I went off the web and then went back onto the web?
It popped
I used the wireless here. It is August 1. It's the youth tournament at the Hardy Dam.
Yep.
What's the launch again?
K&K.
K&K.
KK. K&K.
K&K.
Stands for Kenny and Carrie.
Kenny and Carrie. And that is located...
not far from Oxbow.
Not far from Oxbow. Which would be on your... Oxbow is on the southeast side.
Yes.
Because the river's on an angle.
Right.
So you got to get on the southeast side.
If you're on the highway 131,
yep.
Get off at the Jefferson Road exit, hang a left, take that right in. There'll be a sign that says right by the Hardy Dam grocery store, and there's a brand new gas station there.
Okay.
Called Hilltop. They built one right across.
Really?
Where Cozy Inn used to be.
Yeah.
That's gone. Brand new gas station.
Gone. And they put a brand new gas station.
With a grocery store.
Wow. So
anyways, you turn right there, and then there'll be a sign that says K&K launch. Just follow signs.
Nice. So K&K launch, but you got to be a member anyway. So go to West Michigan.
Somebody in the boat has to be.
Somebody in the boat has to be a member. So you as a member, you could take some kid.
I take any kid. 'Cause that's what we tell them. Take any. If let's say you don't have your kids ain't old enough, just take your neighbor's kid or your whoever.
Right. So find somebody that you can take with you. Otherwise, go WestMichiganWalleyeclub.org, get your membership, and participate in the tournament and have some fun. We'll talk to you again next week right here on the Outdoor Show.
Yep. See you, Tom.
Thanks, Jim.